Alright, what is up everyone? Thank you so much for joining me back here in the Simnett Nutrition Kitchen on this very foggy day here on Vancouver Island, which is in beautiful British Columbia, Canada. And I'm really excited to show you this recipe here today. This is one I make all the time, and it's these super nutritious and equally delicious PowerFULL breakfast muffins. So I know a lot of people are often intimidated with baking because it has a reputation that everything has to be like so exact, but trust me, this recipe is not rocket science. I almost never measure any of these ingredients and it always turns out okay. I just make sure that it's the right consistency at the end and everything always works out fine. So at the end of all this, we'll be going over like the macros and stuff so you guys can see how many calories and all that is in each individual muffin, but for now I'm going to show you everything that I put in here. So the base of this recipe is going to be oats and some bananas. We'll get to that in a second. But basically we just need some flour. So I'm going to be turning these oats into oat flour, and this 3 cups of oats is going to turn into 2 3/4 cups of oat flour. So you could buy your oat flour pre-made, or you could even like get some other sort of flour if you want. Anything goes with this, trust me, but this is the easiest and this is what I'm using for this recipe. And then we have 3 pretty large, super ripe bananas. The riper the better because it'll make it a lot sweeter and like really tasty. And then we have a 1/4 cup of ground flaxseed. You could substitute that for hemp seed if you want, or you could just omit it altogether. The oats are sticky enough that everything sticks together just fine. Then we have 3 tablespoons of cinnamon. If you wanted it to be less cinnamony, you could use less cinnamon, and obviously more if you want it to taste more like cinnamon. And then here we have a couple of crucial ingredients. I don't know if you need to use both of these. You could probably just use one or the other, but I like to use all of them just because, like I said, I'm not a pro baker and I just throw everything at this and hope it works. So here we have 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Baking powder is a really cool one because it already has the acid in it, so you don't actually have to add any. It just starts to rise as you bake it. But with baking soda, you do have to add an acid in order to activate it. So for that acid, we're going to be using a lemon. You could also use apple cider vinegar as well, but it does give it a little bit of like a sourdough kind of taste to it. So we're going to keep it with lemon for this one. And then we've got 3 nice big medjool dates, and these are going to help to sweeten it without adding any refined sugars. If you want it to be sweeter, add more. And then here's a couple optional ingredients. Here we just have a whole mix of, it's basically like a trail mix. I have some sunflower seeds, some pumpkin seeds, I found some goji berries in the cupboard, and also some raisins. I'm going to be using some unsweetened vanilla almond milk in there as well. I'm going to be using just about 1/2 cup, but if you don't have almond milk, you know, any liquid will do. You could put water in there, or even probably like an extra banana as well. So this is definitely optional. I'm going to be adding some dairy-free chocolate chips, and I wasn't originally going to add these, but I polled you guys on Instagram and 66% of you said, yes, add chocolate. Chocolate always makes everything better. So I'll be adding chocolate to 66% of them. No, I'll add chocolate to about 1/2 of them, and it'll make them nice. So that's really all that we have. So I have to turn this into flour. That's the first thing we're going to do. Always bugging. So to turn the oats into oat flour, I'm just going to be blitzing them in the Vitamix, and if you don't have a high power blender that'll make oat flour out of oats, I recommend just buying the flour ahead of time. And there we have it, some nice and fine oat flour. So then you want to go ahead and just add all of the dry ingredients into a large mixing bowl. We got the baking soda, baking powder, the ground flax, and the cinnamon. And then give that a good mix just to have that all prepared for the next set of ingredients. So next we're going to blend up the bananas together with the almond milk and the dates. We're going to leave these whole and mix them in right at the end, so we don't need that. And we're also going to mix the lemon in at the end as well, because that starts to activate everything and make all the bubbles and help it rise. So we don't want to do that before we're ready. So I'm going to put that aside as well. So now that that's all blended up, just mix it into the oat flour. So this is the consistency you're looking for. It's definitely like thinner than a cookie dough, but thicker than like a pancake recipe. But you can easily modify this recipe to make either. You guys will notice it's pretty close to my cookie and pancake recipes that I have on here. Oh yeah, and I should have mentioned at the beginning, you want to make sure that your oven is already preheated to around 325 to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, because yeah, you don't want to make all this and have to be waiting around for like 20 minutes for it to warm up. So I've already done that, it's all preheated. So I'm gonna throw in the rest of these goodies and mix it all up. And then if I wanted the chocolate chips in all of it, I would just mix it in now, but I'm gonna make half with and half without the chocolate chips, just so you guys aren't like, oh my gosh, that's so unhealthy, chocolate in the morning for breakfast. But a lot of you guys asked for it. And then this is when we squeeze the lemon into it. So I'm just gonna roll it out first and get some of those juices moving around inside. Couple seeds snuck in there, get those out. And then more mixing. And then I'm just gonna fill up this silicone muffin tray that we have. So this is a really awesome little thing to have. We actually got this at the thrift store, but you can easily find them online on like Amazon and stuff. And it's nice because you don't have to like put a bunch of oil into it or grease, and you also don't have to use those like little paper, like finicky little muffin containers. So I'm gonna fill half of it with just what we have in here, and then I'm gonna add some of the chocolate chips and fill the other half. So now all that's left is to just fire them in the oven, and it takes about 20 to 25 minutes I found, but of course, like depending on the heat of your oven and you know what rack you put them on and whatnot, it might take a little bit more or less time. But yeah, I found top rack, 350 degrees, takes about 20 to 25 minutes. Alright, so while those are cooking, gives us a good time to tidy up the kitchen. Another 15 minutes and they'll be ready. Cheeky little peek inside, see how they're doing. Oh, they're rising. Wow. Whatever, look at those. Holy smokes, look at those things. Those are official muffins. Like, every time I make muffins, I feel like super proud of myself for some reason. It's like, cookies are easy, they're just like blobs on a baking sheet, but like muffins, they seem so much more mature and refined. And it's funny, for whatever reason, that's burning. For whatever reason, the ones with chocolate chips in them seem to rise a bit more than the ones without the chocolate chips. Anybody know the science behind that? Maybe I just filled them more, I don't know. Let's see, oh, look how nicely they come out. All right, I'm gonna let them cool down for a second, and then I'll try them out, let you guys know how they are. Alright, so these have definitely cooled off enough for me to be able to handle them, so I'm gonna try one. This one looks so good. Obviously, I'm gonna try the chocolate one. They're still pretty hot, but I can't wait. So, you can see they're nicely cooked throughout, and boy, are these ever gonna be good. Wow. Yeah. Woo, so good. Man, when you can make stuff this good at home, like, you just don't buy food when you're out. It is so good. So they're definitely not over sweet. Like the chocolate ones are pretty sweet because of the chocolate. There's definitely like sugar added to that chocolate, but the other ones make like a perfect breakfast muffin. If you do want them sweeter, like I said, you could add more dates, or you could add some maple syrup or whatever sweetener you want, stevia or something like that. I don't like stevia in baked stuff though, it tastes gross. But yeah, anyways, these are amazing. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys try these. Definitely like tag me on Instagram if you guys do make these. I love seeing your creations and seeing how you guys like replicate my recipes. So now I'm gonna show you guys what the macros and the micros and the calories and everything are in these, so let's go over that.
Alright, so each muffin has 203 calories, 8.2 grams of fat, 28.8 grams of carbohydrates, 6.7 grams of protein, and then I will let you guys look at the rest of the nutrients. Here are the ingredients if you guys want to copy them down. They're also in the description. And then here's everything else broken down to a lot more detail than I'm going to go over with you guys. But if you care to look and see, there it is for you. And then here we have the macro breakdown. So we're looking at, it's a pretty carb-rich breakfast, but we need that energy. 54% carbs, 33% fat, 11.5% protein. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoy these muffins. These are so good. I make them all the time, and I hope you guys do too. Definitely let me know your comments down below, and here's some other videos I'd love for you to check out.